What's up, guys? Connor with Guns and Stuff, and today I got my hands on the Ruger LCP2. This is a good little pocket gun. I'm going to go over some of the differences between the Ruger LCP and just kind of show you the differences. So let's get right into it. Okay, so I've got a few different LCPs in front of me. This is the LCP Custom, and the LCP2. Now, one of my favorite pocket guns is probably the Ruger LCP, and all these are unloaded. What I like about the Ruger LCP is that it's a very light gun, it's very small, and it's just a pocket gun. It's something you can throw in your pocket, and you don't really have to worry about it weighing you down. Now, the Ruger LCP did come with some shortcomings for sure. The trigger, it's a double action trigger, and it's very long and has a lot of travel. So that's one thing that is kind of unfortunate about the LCP. The sights are not very ideal, and the grip is kind of small. Like I said, it's a pocket pistol, so it's kind of small, but these things are not very pleasant to shoot. Ruger came out with the LCP Custom, which is this one, has a little bit shorter travel. It's still a double action trigger, and the sights are a little bit better. Now, Ruger just released the LCP2, which pretty much fixes all of those problems. The grip, a couple things I like about this is the grip is a lot wider on the back, so when you hold it, it fills up more of your hand, so that recoil impulse isn't as intense. Still isn't a very fun gun to shoot. It's a pocket gun. I mean, it's not going to be very controllable, so that's just something you got to get used to. Another thing they changed is they now have a single action trigger with a trigger safety. So the trigger, let me make sure it's clear. Trigger is nice and short. I mean, it's still kind of heavy because it's a pocket gun. You don't want a match grade trigger on a pocket gun, but it's not too bad. So that's definitely, the grip trigger is much better. Another thing that I think is awesome is it comes with a holster. So it doesn't really make much sense to me. Why would Ruger, like with the LCP and the LCP Custom, why would they sell you a pocket gun without a holster? You have to go buy the holster afterwards. So I think it coming with a holster definitely is, I mean, it's good. That's cool. So you don't have to go out and buy a holster. The texturing on this trigger, the texturing on the grip, it's not very aggressive, but it's there, so the gun isn't gonna, I mean, it's not gonna fall out of your hand. It's got a nice feel to it. Another thing I like that they added, as you can see here on the Ruger LCP, the trigger guard is kind of rounded, and I just really don't like that because the way I hold it, my fingers kind of slip down. On the LCP2, it's more square, and they have a little bit of texturing here, so you get a little bit more, even more control. So that's definitely a plus. The sights are a little bit taller. They're still not that good, but they're definitely better than the regular LCP. It's still a snag-free gun. That's one thing Ruger wanted to go with the LCP, is they wanted it to be, you know, no sharp edges, snag-free, and this definitely still fits that description. Another thing with the Ruger LCP is the slide is kind of has two, like, I don't know how to explain it. It kind of gives and then it goes all of a sudden. Like, it's kind of hard to do for newer shooters or someone that's not as experienced. That's kind of a pain in the butt. Whereas the Ruger LCP2, I don't know what they did to the recoil spring, but I mean, it's very, very easy to get that slide back. And another thing is the magazines they have with this, it now locks open on the last round. So with the Ruger LCP, it just cycles and you pull the trigger and it goes click. That's when you know you're empty. Whereas this one, it holds open. So I definitely like the Ruger LCP2. I'm probably going to pick one up. I haven't had many rounds through this. I'm just kind of showing you guys. Comes with a holster, a nice single action trigger. It's easy to rack slide. The grip is a little bit wider, so you get a little bit more control. I'm going to run I'm going to run maybe 2 mags of it. This is Federal Premium HST. This is not the micro ammo, so I bought this specifically to see if this would run it. They have a Hydro Shock. This is a Hydro Shock. They have an HST round that is specifically made for micro guns, and this is not it. So I'm going to run some Full Metal Jacket Remington, and I think this is 90 grain 380 defensive ammo, and we'll see if it works. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and load up 6 rounds of the Federal Premium 380 Auto 90 grain Hydro Shock, and this is not the micro ammo. This is just regular 380. It's not. They had another round that's specifically designed for micro guns like this, but I'm just going to run it and see what happens, and hopefully my grip is better than the Kimber video, because you guys really did not like that. So hopefully I worked on my grip for you guys. So let's run it. We'll load up 6 rounds here real quick. Let's see if it works. Ruger LCP 2. Pulls open on the last round. That was 6 rounds of HST Federal Premium. Let's do 6 more real quick, just to see if it'll work. I'm sorry, not HST, this is Hydroshock. Hydroshock. So now I'm gonna put 6 rounds of Remington 95 grain 380, just regular ball stuff. It should run it fairly well. Holes open on the last round. Now the Ruger LCP, just the regular LCP mags will work in this gun, but the only thing is that they won't hold open on the last round. So if that is a deal breaker to you, you gotta get the Ruger 2 mags. One thing that I will say shooting this gun is that wider grip in the back. I think they said it's like 3 millimeters wider, but it definitely fills out my hand a little bit better, makes it a little bit more comfortable to shoot. I definitely prefer the Ruger LCP 2 over the regular LCP, but it's going to be a little bit more. I think the owner of this gun picked it up for, I think $279 he got it for, where these, you can get them now. I saw them online for like $180. So it's going to cost you a little bit more, but those added features, I think definitely makes this gun an improvement. It comes with the holster. It's got a pretty nice single action trigger with the trigger safety. Easy to rack slide. I think Ruger really knocked it out of the park with this little pocket pistol here. I've always been a fan of the Ruger LCP 380, but I'm even a bigger fan of the LCP 2. So putting a little bit more rounds through it for you guys here. All right, so the Ruger LCP2, in my opinion, this is a fantastic pocket gun. I definitely like it better than the Bodyguard or like the Beretta Pico and stuff like that. Just a couple things to remember. It's got that nice single action trigger now. The grip's a little bit wider. I definitely like shooting this gun better than the regular LCP. So if you want a nice little pocket gun, check out the Ruger LCP. They're available online. Connor with Guns and Stuff. I appreciate you watching the video. And as always, we'll see you in the next one.